Hello. I wanted to do a video to do the COVID stuff today because I just feel like it's easier to communicate in um, voice than it is in text. So, a couple things to note today. Um, let's see. The state recorded over 1,000 new cases, and that is a little less than double the previous day, which was in like 580, I think. So that's a pretty big jump. But reporting from different counties and stuff like that, it's kind of jumps around. It just kind of depends. Like I said on my Facebook post on Monday, it's kind of weird over the weekend, so I felt like the numbers were artificially low. And then, sure enough, Chelan reported way more cases the next day. So things like that kind of happen. You kind of have to look at, the trend over time, which is why the Wenatchee World doing these stats where it's like how many cases have there been in the last 2 weeks. It's kind of a rolling number. Is really good. It's a really good thing to pay attention to. And we definitely want to see that number decreasing rather than increasing. The state, up until this point, apparently, unbeknownst to me, I don't know how many people knew, but they were only counting tests done on unique individuals. So if you went and had a test the first time, your test was counted in the testing numbers. If you went again, like a couple weeks later, like I did, I've had 2 COVID tests now. Your second test result it doesn't count. They're not counting it. So that really has an effect on the positivity rate. And since somebody who was negative 2, 3, 4 weeks ago can now be positive, and it's a fluctuating thing, it's really important that we know each individual test and how, like, what's actually happening, and not just like, oh, well, that person had a test 4 weeks ago, so it doesn't matter what else happens in the future. Like, that's ridiculous. So they're changing that. It doesn't affect new cases, deaths, anything like that. It affects things like the positivity rate, things that we really kind of extrapolate from the testing data. They said it's going to take about a week to kind of transition to that. So until then, the numbers are just going to be kind of weird, and we're definitely going to see a big change. Hopefully the positivity numbers go way down. That's what I'm hoping to see, and we'll see. We'll see next week how that goes. The last thing I really wanted to mention is that the Department of Health has been reporting that Douglas County has 7 deaths, and the Wenatchee World has been reporting that Douglas County has 5 deaths. This has kind of been a discrepancy for a week or two now, and I don't know why it kind of took so long to update, but now Confluence Health and the Wenatchee World have reported that 2 patients that are hospitalized from Douglas County are no longer in the hospital. They don't give a reason. They never say whether, the patient has died or the patient has been transferred. So you just kind of have to guess. But my guess is that these 2 patients that they're now reporting have left the hospital are the ones that died a couple weeks ago and are now just kind of catching up through our Department of Health. I know that for the state, a lot of these stats are required to be reported fairly quickly, and then the Department of Health puts out the statistics. But in terms of our own health department and kind of our reporting locally, it might be a little bit different. We do see some discrepancies. I generally take the state Department of Health website as the, holy grail of information. Like, that's kind of what we base it off of. And then we kind of get different stats and stuff from the Wenatchee World. They're very helpful too. But so I just wanted to say that stuff, that I don't think 2 patients from Douglas County have died this week. I think, unfortunately, they died a week or 2 ago, and that just hasn't been reported locally yet. So we'll see. We'll kind of see in the coming days what they say about it. But right now, It's just numbers. These are all just guesses based on the numbers. So I'm going to post the numbers, but I am going to quickly just say that we had in the statewide, we had 1,188 new cases, 12 new deaths. In Chelan County, we had 43 new cases, and in Douglas County, we had 9 new cases. In Chelan County, our rolling 2-week case number is 413, which is an increase of 9, which I don't think that's too bad. Douglas County is 260, which is a decrease of 24, which is really good. Like I said, the reported numbers this week have been really low for Douglas County, kind of like abnormally low. So I don't really know how that's going to go, if it's going to jump up again, or if like Douglas County has just really like embraced masking and they're like, we're going to do this, and who knows. Hopefully it's the latter. Our hospital occupancy is really good. It's for the state at 62%. For Chelan County at 65%, which it's gone down by 7%. I think they're transferring a lot of patients rather than it just being like. Well, the thing is that it's all patients. It's like licensed beds. It's not just COVID. So, I mean, who knows why that is? But the good news is that there's a lot of room for patients. You know, we're not running out of room. Our positivity rate per 100K, I think this is something else that's going to change when they change the testing reporting next week. So we'll see. I'm not sure, but maybe. The state, it's 122. It's gone down by like 1.5%. Chelan, 529.2. And Douglas 625.9. So that's both a decrease, but it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. They want it to be under 25, and we're like over 600. So really bad. The positivity rate, again, like we can't even. For Chelan, it's 20%. Douglas, it's 23%. And I mean, it means nothing at this point now that we know that it's artificially high, because we're not counting repeat tests on individuals, which is ridiculous. We have 2 new patients in the hospital. We actually have 4 new patients in the hospital. The total patients has increased by 2, but we have 4 new patients. So we have 21 patients in hospital. Like I said, we lost 2 patients, and we have 4 new patients from Chelan County. So that's kind of the difference. I want to just mention that this is speculation. I have no clue if this is true or not, but the COVID patient on ventilators has been 7 for weeks. This leads me to believe that we only have 7 ventilators. I don't know if that's the case, but I would suspect that to be true, and I would suspect that they would be transferring people who would need to be ventilated over 7. So I don't know. Just something to think about, just kind of, taking the information and trying to get a picture of what things are like in our valley right now, in our local area. And so that's it. I mean, we just need to know what's happening and do what we can do to protect our community. So wear a mask, social distance, and take this seriously, because these are our friends and our neighbors and our family, and it could be somebody that you love. So anyways, that's today's really long video about the numbers.